If you have the disease, if you're sick like us, then you agree. There's nothing wrong with getting knee deep in quarterback evals for the 2026 class in early June of 2025. Because if this is sick, who the hell wants to be healthy? It's Cade Klubnik's turn on the Summer Scouting Series, 332 days from the NFL Draft, of course. Muench, you good?
I'm good, man.
DJX, summer playlist, please. Find out if Muench just hates Clemson.
Stop.
Or if he's a non-biased evaluator today. It's Cade Klubnik Day. I love this series. We're going through all the top quarterbacks. We're going to go through different position groups. We're going to focus on a couple teams specifically and their talent level, how different it is than normal years. Might circle back on Clemson later on. Every board I'm looking at's got a lot of those orange paws on it, man.
Yeah.
This is the most talented team I think that Dabo's had in a decade, but it starts at the quarterback position. Before we get to Cade Klubnik, we really appreciate you being here. We hope you're having as much fun as us. Hopefully you can stack some of these shows, enjoy them while you're on the beach, hanging out by the barbecue, whatever it is you're doing this summer. And Muench,
we're getting quicker too. You don't have to wait 2 hours. We're getting quicker too, so you can rip through them.
Is that a dig at me? Because I called you a homer?
I would never. No.
Okay.
No, never.
Yeah. We're respecting the time of our audience during the summer because admittedly I tend to be a little long-winded, but I don't have producers in my ear yelling me rap. And so I'm probably a little, I've gone too far the other way. Tell the people, tell the folks, tell our good friends, tell friends of the show. How can they support us?
This is what our friends can tell their friends to go to the YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, go to Spotify, hit the follow button. Our socials are at McShay13 and at YouGoodMench. It's MUENCH. Please consider subscribing to the McShay Report. Again, you can do that for free, but I'm telling you right now, you might as well.
And the McShay Report's out again today. We had Lenora Sellers early in the week on Monday morning. Today it's Cade Klubnik. And it's a deep dive. It's every specific play. It's NFL comps. It's all the position specific stuff, the grades, everything.
And just save yourself the time. If you're going to subscribe for free, just get the subscription, pay for it, because I promise you, McShay is good at once he's got his teeth into you, once he's got the hook set. Yeah. He's going to get you. So might as well just save your time and put the.
I got my hooks in you when you were 18 years old, coming from Andover, Mass, down to Richmond, Virginia, and I've never let him out.
The guy's relentless. Okay, I'm just saying.
All right, Cade Klubnik. Cade's come a long way, man.
Texas legend, Cade Klubnik.
Legend.
Yes.
I love Texas. I like my quarterback to be a Texas legend, right?
Of course you do.
All right, he's 6'2", 210 pounds. Not ideal size, but not red flags, especially in today's NFL. Again, estimated time. I couldn't even get like a huddle report time or a combine time from him. I'm estimating in like the 4.6, 4.65 range. Okay. All right. During his first 3 seasons at Clemson, that's every bit of when he's been there. 2022 to 2024. 37 career games, 28 career starts, 2,137 snaps, Muench. Okay.
Kid's played some ball.
Yeah, he's played some ball. He's completed 63.4% of his throws, over almost 7,200 yards, 57 touchdowns, just 18 interceptions. Pretty good ratio. Okay. Better than 3 to 1. Also rushed for 784 yards and 13 touchdowns on 286 rushing attempts. So, and obviously back-ended, most recently this past year, full-time starter. And really, I thought it's funny because I loved him when he first came in with DJ Uyunglele. And I felt like every time he came in the game for Clemson as a pup, he brought a little different energy. It felt like the offense wasn't so stagnant. and I
Yeah,
really
he came
like.
off the bench in the ACC championship game in 2022 and won the MVP.
Yes.
And then goes and makes his first start of his college career against that Hendon Hooker, 6th-ranked Tennessee team in the Orange Bowl. And it was pretty up and down, but he did throw for 320, I think, in that game. He had a decent day.
Right. And then the next season wasn't as good. And no. But then this past season, he finally showed us what he can be.
I'll say this about 2023. I don't think he was necessarily as bad as, I'm not saying you're saying, as some other people might, but the long short of it is Clemson had 4 losses before you hit November. And if you're the quarterback at Clemson and you have 4 losses when you get to November, I think a lot of that's going to fall at your feet, right or wrong. I think that's just the reality of being the face of that program and being the quarterback there. I mean, they beat Notre Dame. They beat the 14th ranked Notre Dame team. They played some teams tough. They played that Florida State team that was so good that year tough. But at the end of the day, it was an up and down year for him, I think. And when you have 4 losses going to November and you're the quarterback at Clemson, it's going to reflect poorly on you.
So we're not tweaking our scouting process. That's the whole point of this. That's the reason why we're sharing all this. We've never been able to do it before. We've never had a platform to do it before, and it feels freeing and wonderful. And honestly, I didn't take it lightly when we asked for, what do you want to hear? What do you want to, we asked our audience, and a lot of it was this, like, stick to the NFL draft, get us prepared for the season. Here's my mission, Muench. I want our audience to be the smartest audience when it comes to the NFL draft. And if you were following us back to October of last year, or even after the combine when we started in on something's amiss, this Shedeur Sanders stuff isn't right. I felt like, I feel good. My head goes on the pillow at night feeling like, you know what? Our audience was smarter than every other audience out there when it came to the NFL draft. And that's my whole mission in this. And I know you share that mission with me. That's why we're doing this. Okay. I want to change the narrative about all this stuff. I want to stop coming in March. The draft doesn't start in Mobile. I love you, Nagy. It was a great tagline. And for a lot of people it does, but it doesn't. It starts now. It starts with NFL scouts in their areas. And that's what we're doing. So we haven't tweaked our process, but we're tweaking the way we're presenting it. And we're even in-game tweaking it. Like with Arch, I went on for like an hour and 20. You assisted me, but I was the problem.
I enabled you. That's for sure.
You weren't completely innocent, but I'm getting more jail time than you, deservedly so.
Right.
So we got better. We refined it. We got down to like 50 minutes with Garrett Nussmeier, provided probably more content, but we broke it up into all the position-specific stuff. Mental makeup, accuracy, release quickness / arm strength, and pocket mobility. But we went like 5-7 minutes on each one, and we felt like beholden to it. Didn't feel right. So we talked to Tucker and Conor and Dan and Mark and Eduardo, and we came together. We're like, all right, how can we make it more conversational? Like you and I are hanging out. And let's strike all these like parameters and things that we have to do. Let's just talk the player. We did that last time out, Lenora Sellers on Monday, and it felt natural. That's how you and I talk. When we're sitting there watching tape in a hotel room, when we're going out to dinner, when we're on the phone talking players, that's how we talk. So we're going to do it again today. I do want to start with this because there's some housekeeping. There are those position-specific traits. And I liked how we did it last time. Let's just rip off the numbers. Let's self-admit where we think maybe we're too high or too low. Let's rip them off, and then let's get into the player. Cade Klubnik. Mental makeup. And I want for people, the reason we do mental makeup, it's not like intelligence or even football. It's like, how do they handle all of it? We've got an intangible section for the universal traits, okay? It's not about intangibles. It's about, how much do I trust this guy? How is he protecting the football? How fast does he read his progressions? In critical moments, in the clutch, 2 minutes left, gets the ball, the drill, all of it. How does he handle himself? That's what this kind of all encompasses, this mental makeup grade. It's decision-making in every aspect of playing the quarterback position, okay? 1 being exceptional, outstanding. 2 grade being good. 3 average. 4 below average. 5 is marginal. Like I said in the last show, it's kind of like playing golf. The lower the number, the better the score. Okay. So 1 is 1 to 5, 1 being the best, 5 being the worst. Where did you have Cade with your mental makeup?
2.
I went 1.5. So we're in the same neighborhood. Not there yet, but see a lot of promising things.
This is all new to me, the 0.5s. I feel like I'm getting kuipered here with the draft trades in the mock drafts, man.
Yeah,
We've been doing this for forever. Forever. If I had sent you a 0.5 in 2017, you would have called me immediately.
I would have suspended you.
You were like, bro, we don't do 0.5s. There's no such thing as a 0.5.
Get off the fence. And I'm not saying you're allowed to do them yet either. I'll let you know.
Yeah, no, I'm still on probation, apparently. Go ahead.
Accuracy, 1 to 5, 1 being best, 5 being the worst. Where do you fall on Klubnik accuracy?
2.
1.5. I don't know that I've given out a grade in the last month that doesn't have a 0.5. But honestly,
here we go.
Honestly, two's a better number.
Okay.
Two's a better number. There was some interesting stuff I want to get to, some ups and downs, and some research I did to try to figure out if it like health factored into it as well. Release arm strength. Where'd you have him?
What'd you give him?
1.5.
I want you give him 1.5.
I think he has.
I gave him a 2. Yes, I did too. All right, I gave him a 2, and I was like, I wonder if he's going to give me. Honestly, if you're going to give me shit for it, I thought you might think it was too high.
Pocket mobility, 1 to 5, 1 being the best, 5 being the
I gave him a 3. I feel like I feel like it's a 2. I feel like it's a 2.
Yeah, it's a 2.
Yeah,
I want 1.5.
Again, I watched Sellers right before him, and I think that maybe swayed it a little too much.
I was too harsh on Sellers. He should have been a 1. I gave him a 1.5. I can't sleep at night knowing that I have the same number for Klubnik and Sellers. So I'm going
right.
I think a fair assessment is Sellers is closer to 1 than he is 2, and Klubnik is closer to 2 than he is 1.
That's
so
fair.
It's a 1. It's a 1.
I think 3 is a little harsh. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, so we get some stuff to work through here.
Yeah, let's hit it.
I also liked. You know what? My sweet girl Allar always says, "Let Muench talk," and it worked. I like the way he worked, and I can kind of react to your thoughts. So why don't you get us started on Klubnik?
So look, let's look at the season, and I was very vocal during the year about I didn't think Clemson played anyone, and Klubnik had some really good tape, but I was still there was a big part of it for me was who's he played? Like I just don't know who he's played. They played Georgia. And they weren't ready. Clemson wasn't ready as a team, I think. I think that's not all on Klubnik. I don't think that Clemson team was ready for that Georgia team. And it showed up. I mean, they got handled. It was a 31-point blowout. So that was the only team they really played until you get to the South Carolina game. Really, that I thought was a significant test for that team, as talented as it is. And they lost to South Carolina by 3. But I love the way Klubnik played in that game. And by the way, he threw a game-ending interception in field goal range. I understand that. I understand that the ball, you can't hit, it went off the running back's hands, but it was behind the running back. It's got to be a better ball. I understand all that. But I love the way he played. And then the way he played against SMU. I love the way he played in that game. He had sub 60% completion percentage in that game. I don't care. I thought he was awesome. 4 touchdowns. He played great. And I thought he played pretty well against Texas too. And I thought that Texas team, that defense, when you look at how well that defense played late in the year for Texas, or really the whole year, I thought Klubnik played well in that game. So, yeah, I thought he had a good year overall going into it. I mean, look at this kid at the end of the year with a 36 touchdown to 6 interception ratio. He got away with some things. All quarterbacks do, but that's an impressive number, man. To throw for 36 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions. I mean, that stands out as a stat. I'm not a huge analytics guy. I'm not a big numbers guy. That's one of those ones you can't ignore. I thought overall he had a really good year, and then the way he finished was super encouraging me and kind of shut the big guy up a little bit about who they had played, because when they finally got to it, he didn't excel necessarily. He could have played better at times, I guess is the way I want to say it, but he played pretty damn well.
I liked him a lot on TV last fall, and I saw the improvement on TV. I liked him a lot more on tape.
Yeah.
Even that Georgia game, man. Even that Georgia game, he played well. Like that first quarter throw, 327, like it's a hell of a throw.
He made some plays.
Dropping the ball in beautifully in the sideline. I thought like in the third quarter, there's a play that jumped out. He's scrambling again, no protection. Gets outside the pocket, starts directing his target. You could see the experience, especially coming off of Lenora Sellers and even Nussmeier. But especially off of Sellers, okay? Because Nussmeier's been around 5 years, just one as a starter. Sellers is still a pup, but you could see the experience in some of the stuff, right? Game experience, life experience. You could just see the difference in experience. I thought the Georgia game wasn't as bad as I expected it to be. NC State, I thought he was really good. Like running threat, pulled the option. It was like 13:45 first quarter, early in the game. Runs for 55 yards, touchdown.
How about when there was the I think it was the 10th offensive play for Clemson where he's looking left, doesn't like it. The linebacker blitzes the A gap late. He senses it, spins out to his right, and throws a 31-yard touchdown pass. I think that was in that game. No, yeah, that was NC State. Unbelievable play. The way he sensed the pressure, the way he got away from it. He's looking left. He's not. I don't even know if he must have just seen it out of the corner of his eye, and then to go move to your right and throw a great to Antonio Williams, great ball, touchdown, 31 yards. I was like, wow, that is a big time play.
There were parts of his tape. Here's what let's just get into it.
Okay.
I think he thrives in chaos.
Okay.
I think and that's a very important trait. I think he's great when the initial play breaks down, when he's got to climb the pocket, when he's got to sidestep. It almost like it's like soothing to him, which is, I love that. I loved it in Jackson Dart. I underrated it in Bo Nix.
Right.
I see a lot of Bo Nix in this kid.
Wow.
I see a lot of Bo Nix in Cade Klubnik.
What do you like? How do you feel about his accuracy when he's making off-platform throws? I feel like it suffers a little bit. That was the one thing I had.
There were some.
And it happens to every quarterback. Don't get me wrong. It happens to every quarterback. And I know 3 is way too high. I mean, the more we talk about it, 3 is too high. He can move around the pocket. He can extend. He makes plays. I get all of that. He can scramble.
He feeds on it. On it.
I actually think he's better in the pocket.
What would you give Jackson Dart right now?
And his pocket mobility? 2.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
I think Jackson Dart's more.
What about Bo Nix?
I don't know. I probably gave him a 3, but probably should have been a 2. I like him. I actually also like think both better.
Yeah.
I like him in the pocket better.
And here's the thing. The other thing is they both have elastic arms, Bo Nix and him. Watch his arm, like how loose. And the ball, it has more energy than it looks. And I said the same thing about Bo, and I didn't. And I put too much emphasis on all the problems at Auburn and not enough on the development at Oregon. I don't ever think Bo Nix is going to be exceptional. I don't. I think he's in the perfect place. I think he's going to have ups and downs like he did as a rookie. They're not going to be as extreme as he gets older. But I absolutely undervalued Bo Nix. Never going to be Mahomes. Never going to be Josh Allen. Never going to be Lamar Jackson. He's never going to be one of that top tier.
All right, I got to stop you right here because this is we're getting into it now about what you're looking for in quarterbacks, and you're talking about how you like Bo Nix and you like that. So on the spot right now, can the Denver Broncos win a Super Bowl with Bo Nix? And if not, what are we doing? You could say all these nice things about Bo Nix, but you're going out to get quarterbacks that can take.
Can they, or do I think they will?
You're such a lawyer. Answer. I don't care. Answer one of them. Whatever one you're more
Can they?
comfortable with.
Yeah, they can. If their defense continues to get better, they had a hell of a draft this year. They've got more weapons around him. I'm not saying it's going to be this year, but the next couple years, can they make a run to the Super Bowl? Like, can they? Can they? Yeah, they can.
Okay.
They've got a great coach. He's going to get the most out of Bo. Will they? Not with the quarterbacks in this league right now, man.
Josh Allen doesn't have one, man.
No, I know.
Josh Allen doesn't have one. So let me ask you this. You see a lot of Bo Nix in him. Is that right now in the process? Again, let's keep this all in perspective. Always important to do that. It's June. It is June. We haven't played the last season. I mean, we haven't played. There's a lot of football to play. Is that how you feel about Klubnik? That he's a guy that can come in and be really good for your team?
I hear you. All I'm saying, when I'm saying Bo Nix, like, look at the size, look at the mobility.
Yes, I hear you.
Look at the elastic arm.
Great.
Look at kind of the chaos pressure stuff. And Cade's doing. See, here's the thing with Cade, and I wrote this in the scouting report. the McShay report. Google it, please. Subscribe. What are we doing? 200,000.
It is worth it.
It's starting to piss me off. 200,000 people watching us on YouTube draft night, and we got like 15,000 subscribers. I wanted it 100,000. So let's go. Just Google it. Subscribe for free for now. Let me tickle you a little bit before I make a move on you. I love when I make you.
No, where are we? We don't know where we are anymore.
Yeah, exactly. But so Cade's still in his development. He's still in that Auburn process. Okay.
Yes.
I'm not saying this. I'm not saying the ceiling is Bo Nix. I'm just saying when I watch him, I see a lot of the same stuff. But he's coming off. He doesn't have the same experience that Bo did leaving Auburn. Bo played a lot more ball there. Bo finished at the time with the most starts in college football history in FBS. So my point is, with more, like, if he's already here, and you mentioned this, and we're not big stats people, but protecting the football, and here's the other thing. He only got sacked 23 times in 14 games. We just on Monday talked about Lenore Sellers, 33 times in 12 games, okay? So, like, I've got this guy who's really athletic, thrives in chaos, stronger, whether you think he's a 2-arm or I think he's a 1.5, whatever it is, it's a plus arm. It's not we can get by, or he's got to overcome. It's a plus arm. With the creativity, the mobility, the running element, and he's protecting the football, and he's not taking negative plays. I like this guy.
I agree with you. I am going to be the over-the-top comp on this guy on this show.
Okay.
I went with Josh Allen for Lenore Sellers, so I'm going to go with
fucking irresponsible.
Totally irresponsible. Totally irresponsible. But it's fun to talk about. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with another Texas high school.
I went with Jalen Hurts, which seems like reasonable.
Who's, by the way, an outstanding quarterback coming off a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I went Josh Allen.
But you got to raise the.
Yeah, look, I'm not afraid to say it. I have a lot to make up to the fans of the Clemson football program. So I'm just going to go in. It's see if you can pick up on who this guy is. Similar frames, both Texas high school football legends.
Colt McCoy.
Nope. Oh my God, I'm going over the top. I mean, Colt McCoy was great for what he was.
Okay, keep going. Keep going. Give me doesn't
quite have the arm strength as the guy I would comp him to, but still, I think can do some of the same things. He's an old veteran, man.
Oh, I was gonna say Kyler Murray. That was gonna be ridiculous.
No,
because he was a Texas high school.
He was
talking to Cliff Kingsbury, and he was like, "I think and Cliff knows Texas high school football, man." He was like, "I think he might have been the best ever."
On the Murray comp. Murray and Klubnik both went undefeated in their last 2 years playing Texas football, and both won state titles in their last 2 years. Matt Stafford.
You're going Stafford.
I love Matt Stafford, by the way. Just so Clemson fans understand this, if he can be underrated, I'm not sure he can be. I
totally agree. I
think give me Matt Stafford over Aaron Rodgers. Like, Matt Stafford is I think, a hell of a quarterback. I think that's the absolute ceiling. I don't think he has the same kind of arm talent that Matt
Stafford's
Stafford
been
has.
one of the best, like 5, 6. We could do a list,
Yes.
but like 5. He's in the bottom of that like elite tier.
If he's not spending right, if he's not in Detroit for as long as he was in that situation, now Detroit's obviously different than when he was
totally
there.
Different vibe,
different career, right?
Mm-hmm.
I see those things because I think that Stafford's mobility earlier in his career was a little underrated. I think both Stafford and Klubnik are very tough. And then I look at how they are. I think they're both very smart. I think that Klubnik's going to have to adjust to, playing in a pro style offense and all of those things. But when I'm watching him get to his third read and making a tough throw on that third read, and also this is one of the things I love about Klubnik. One of the things I love. You want to talk about confidence in a quarterback. He makes throws that are all confidence. All confidence. He knows he has the arm strength to get there. He knows he has the window as long as he gets that out of time, and he knows he's got to get it out.
I'm just all right. Pause. I'm now, and you do this to me every once in a while. You're confusing me.
I rope-a-dope you.
Which I care more. No offense, audience, and everyone listen, but like right now, I need to sort out what Muench is doing before I try to help you sort it out. So you have shitty grades on him for the position specifics.
No, I didn't. I gave him all 2s.
There was a 3 in there.
The 3 was pocket mobility. I walked it back. Immediately.
I gave
We've
him
established you can do that. We established.
I gave him 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. And I said he reminds me a lot of Bo Nix, who was drafted 12th overall,
right,
and has outplayed 12th overall. And I've self-admitted I was over, but to your point, I don't think Bo's ever going to be in the top tier,
right,
and it's going to be hard for him to even maybe get in that second tier.
So what I was doing was pinning you down for the Clemson faithful as a guy that thinks that Cade Klubnik's Bo Nix, and presenting myself as a guy who thinks that Cade Klubnik is Matt Stafford.
So I'm now going to pin you down. Throw Arch Manning out because he's not in 2026 class. We don't have any real work on him yet. I shouldn't say it. There's not enough of a catalog. We have done Garrett Nussmeier, Lenora Sellers.
Yes.
And now we're done with the tape on Klubnik, and we're sorting it out right here, even though you're making a mess of it.
How? I just wanted you.
You're all over the place. No. So I want you to plant
agree
a
with
flag.
you. I never agree with you about the Knicks thing. I just wanted to hear where you were.
I want you to plant a flag. If you had to give a preseason grade, and obviously, like we're talking about, Lenoris has so much developing to do. We want him in the 2027 draft. I think we both agree he's the most physically gifted of the quarterbacks we've evaluated so far, right?
Yep.
Nussmeier, we covered head to toe, and Nussmeier was, like, to me, I love his game, but I don't think he's even as I love his game. But I recognize I think he's a touch below, and I think he's sudden. I think he's got a solid to good. I think he's got a good arm. Like, I think he's the most accurate of these three. Nussmeier's more accurate than Sellers, definitely, and Nussmeier's more accurate than Klubnik. If you had to turn over to me, as we've done 25 years in a row, several times a year, when you send over to me your grades and rankings, right now, are you ranking Klubnik ahead? Where are you with those three?
Sellers, Klubnik, Nussmeier. And Sellers is tough because it's a big time projection.
I more wanted to know him versus Nussmeier because I think they'll both be in the 2026 draft. I'm not sure on Sellers.
Right. I have him ahead of Nussmeier. I do. And I think he's going to absolutely take off this year too. I think that you look at how Klubnik finished last year, and then you look at Antonio Williams, Brian Westco Jr., and TJ Moore all going back, and those receivers. And by the way, I know we're going to talk about them later, but some of those routes they were running, man, and some of the speed they were showing, when you're just watching Klubnik's tape and you're watching those receivers run around, I'm like, oh boy, those guys. I mean, there is talent in that receiving room, and I think that sets up well for Klubnik to continue to build on that momentum, continue to build on his confidence, he's one of those guys that I think could have a monster year, and we're sitting at the end of the year and be like, wow, it really came on for him.
I remember Lee Fitting was a high-ranking executive, great producer. He was the first producer that I know of with Game Day. I'm not sure if he took the baton or not. And so I worked with him a long time. A lot of respect for him in terms of like producing and as an executive, but spent a lot of time talking ball with him. And, it would be like me and Herb Street and Fowler, and he would be there, the whole group. But his kids are huge Clemson fans. I can't remember if one of them went there. So he would always ask me about Clemson prospects. And I remember after the games we talked about with Clemson, texting Lee, be like, get DJ out of here. No offense. But offense. This is the guy.
I think that's just fair. That's just honest about what the situation is.
And so my point in this was, and Lee has since gone on to WWE, and but my point in this is, then like I remember 2023, my last year with ESPN, being like, oh god, like I'm really hoping to see more development. Like, it's supposed to be like the tape studier and the evaluator guy. But I think, I think there's a lot more there. I'm still holding on, even though he hasn't given me enough to like really. And then this past year, obviously he's working at WWE, and we text a little bit, but we haven't had the subject. For some reason, it came in my head. Like, if I were to, I'm going to shoot him a text and be like, hey, because when I was done with this tape, like 2025 is Clemson's year, but it's Cade's year.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
I agree, man. I agree.
And I think Sellers is more talented, and I think Nussmeier's a damn good quarterback. And if I'm being honest, I think right now I've got him neck and neck, but I would give Klubnik a slight edge over Nussmeier. And for people who don't know or maybe didn't watch that episode, you can check the McShay Show on YouTube, or just go to Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts, and just go back and watch or listen to the Nussmeier show just a couple weeks ago. I love him. I think Nussmeier is going to be a great quarterback. And I'm like you, man. I'm getting excited about this quarterback class. We haven't done Drew Allar yet. We haven't done a couple other guys that could up the board. And there's always one guy that we probably won't even get to. All of a sudden, 4 weeks into the season, we're like, wait, we better dive in quick. I think this is his year. Here's the thing with him, with Cade for me. Sellers is so very clearly a more dynamic athlete and explosive and all that stuff. Klubnik right now is more functional with his mobility in the pocket. I see the climbing. I see the sliding. I want you to hear this closely. It's so fucking critical with quarterbacks, man. It is like beyond sensing pressure and not panic. Jackson Dart, you want to know why I loved him? And I told you 20 times, and I'll remind you right now, it was that 147 play clip reel, or had 100, clip reel of the versus pressure. Because I saw the same stuff I saw out of Josh Allen. Wasn't as big, didn't have the arm, but I saw there all of them. If you go back and you watch Mahomes, if you watch like all the great ones, the really good ones, when it gets crazy around them, it's cool. I'm good. No problem. Let's advance this play, advance the off. And I saw that in this kid. I call him a kid. I hope he doesn't take offense to it, but he's got an elastic arm. He's functional in terms of his mobility. He climbs the pocket when he should climb. He slides when it's interior, and and I hate when I hear, hey, he climbs the pocket and he keeps his eyes down the field. Like, great, but is he seeing the picture? And then I watch, there was one, and I say this all. There are a couple things that are concerning. Okay. I don't think he can throw with anticipation. I wrote 49 seconds left, second quarter. Love seeing this anticipation on the speed out route. This is to the left.
Which game is this, you know?
Sorry, Florida State.
Okay, good.
Rips it early, perfect placement along. It wasn't anything that jumped out. If you didn't write a note about it, I wouldn't be like, what, you noticed that play? But it's in there. He got the ball out before the receiver broke. Everything was on time. Perfect placement along the sideline. Picked up 12 next play. Right? But I want to see more of that. And not just because I saw 4 or 5 more of those after that one. And so he's really good at throwing the speed out to the left side, but I want to see it with more of the throws. Now, I did see it a lot with him moving around, throwing receivers open, leading them on crossers, posts, different things like that. But I think he has a habit of wanting to see the receiver maybe open coming back to him, or on horizontal cutting routes, like cutting, out cutting, or comebacks or curls. He wants to see that number flash. And I know that because it's a binky. It's a safety blanket. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and especially when your guy's used to buying time. When your guy's used to buying time, you're like, I can buy enough time to see this a little clearer.
Nailed it. And I was 6'1", he's 6'2". When I'm standing behind you, people don't see me, Muench. And you were a guard, or you were a guard. You know what I mean? But my point is, you want to. It's the great ones that learn to trust it. And, so I want to see more of that. I know it's in there. I want to see that next step in his development this year. Okay.
Can I tell you one of my favorite throws he made? And it's one of those throws again that maybe you're not really paying attention. You're like, you didn't see much in it. He had an RPO touchdown against Wake Forest inside the 10-yard line, where his receiver breaks over the middle. And you might look and be like, oh, that doesn't look like it's that accurate. And he throws it on the back hip of the receiver. And if you watch the play, it is the only place that ball can go, man. If he leads the receiver, that receiver's going to the hospital. That receiver is going to get cleared out by I don't know if it's a linebacker or a safety, but someone was sitting on it right in the middle of the field. If he throws it too far ahead, it's going to get picked off. And he puts it right back on the back hip of the receiver, who catches it, falls in the end zone untouched, touchdown. And by the way, there was a defender right in his face right away. Had to be quick, had to get the ball out, and the ball placement, again, it's not like something where you're looking at it and be like, oh, well, it wasn't in front of him, or he didn't put it in the numbers. It was right where the ball had to be.
Here's the other thing that I'm still to this moment scratching my head on a little bit. He had a weird little stretch in the middle of the season where I didn't think he was as accurate as I did even early on against Georgia when the numbers weren't great, and then late in the season, and I'll come back to Pittsburgh in a minute. But there was this stretch, and I went back and looked, and I'm like, did something contribute to it? He just looked a little different with his accuracy. So I went back and looked. He got knocked out of the Florida State game. He got quote unquote shaken up, whatever that is. Okay. But then the next game was Wake Forest, completed like 73% of his throws, had that great throw. But then the game after that was Virginia. And he started that game, like he had a nicely placed back shoulder fade, right sideline early in the game. Just a few minutes later, pretty wild. Do you remember the against Virginia? He rolled to his right shortly, then all the way across the field. Right? It was against Virginia. It was 10 minutes left in the first quarter. He had this wild like cross field scramble where he kind of rolled to his right a little bit. It wasn't there, and he was kind of like, and he rolled all the way back across the field to his left, and then he kind of opened up his hips and threw. It wasn't a great throw. But he extended it, and the receiver was wide open, and it was a difficult off balance, ripping your hips back open, sprinting full speed after 40 yards of sprinting back to his left. But it was just all he had to do was lay it in there.
I thought you might have been talking about the Virginia pick was by far the most baffling decision he made.
So
okay, go ahead.
Started, good. It started late in that first quarter. 5 seconds left. Really bad interception. I wasn't
what was
even
he doing?
Sure. I watched
two guys could have picked that pass off
8 times, bud. I don't know what he was seeing. I don't know what he was thinking.
4 defenders in the area. Two
The
guys
throw wasn't as bad as the decision, but it was bad too. And I wrote completely out of character compared to the rest of the tape.
I never saw a play like it again. Yep.
Okay, but don't disagree. Yes, it was the worst play of his entire 237, key play reel. But then second quarter, 9:25, badly overshoots a tight end who's wide open in the back of the end zone. What the fuck was that? What was that?
The ball hit the padding. You actually saw the ball like bounce back the way the velocity of the ball hitting at the back of the end zone. Yeah.
And then, so I that's when I went back and looked. I'm like, why? What was so different there? And those were just two. There were several other errant throws. I said a couple ugly mistakes, handful. Well, not like 3 or 4, like 7 or 8 really errant throws. And I just wrote those 2 down to remind myself. And I just like head scratcher. Like I don't know, because it didn't match up with the rest of the tape. Louisville, he misses a couple easy shots early in the game. Really easy throws, just misses.
That throw to the flat that should have been picked. Yep.
Yes. But then he kind of got in the late in the first quarter, he started to get back in rhythm. So I'm like, okay. I don't know if it was a confidence issue after that one mistake. I don't know if it was something lingering from that Florida State game. I don't know if there was something else that happened in game against Virginia that carried over a little bit in Louisville. I don't know. Dabo sure as hell ain't going to tell us.
I don't know. I'm on his good side now.
And then Louisville is play 103 on my reel. I didn't write the timestamp down, but another miss, completely overshot in the middle. And then Virginia Tech, he only completed like 58% of his throw. It was like this 4-game stretch, like 3.5 game stretch.
47.1 in the
47.1. So it was this 3.5 game stretch from the second half of Virginia. They rolled Virginia, meanwhile. So people are listening like, what are you talking about, McShay? We beat them by 20, 26 point, whatever the number was. It was over 20.
That's not what Clemson fans sound like, by the way. They're very intelligent, good people.
I know. I live with one. I live with 3 of them, actually.
I would never say such things about Clemson fans.
Yeah, Marissa, AJ, and Mia are going to listen to this show, I'm sure, this summer. Better things to do. But
you're right. He had that stretch.
Yeah, that stretch. Then the Pittsburgh game comes. And he's flat out phenomenal. Wasn't perfect, but he is flat out phenomenal.
Yep.
And then he was kind of back. So we talked about this with Arch, right? There's steps in the process. The first step was getting out there and showed he's got something, he can be the Clemson quarterback. The second step was failure for him. And they're all different steps for different quarterbacks. They truly are. Like, who knew? Jalen Hurts got benched at halftime in a national championship game and was sent off to pasture, kind of got a really nice soft landing spot with Lincoln Riley, the quarterback whisperer. They didn't win the way that the previous quarterbacks did, but he still was a Heisman finalist and had a really good year. And then was a 3rd-round pick. And was a 3rd-round pick behind a quarterback that had just been drafted a couple years early, and Carson Wentz at number 2 overall, and had led his team to a Super Bowl. Okay? So everyone's got different steps in the process. And so step 2 for him was some failure and having to look in the mirror and kind of new coaching and new support staff and a young support staff, okay, in terms of his weapons. Step 3 was, I'm back. Here I am. But there were some mid-season bumps in the road, and it was a tough loss against Short. Like, there was some stuff to overcome, but now we're iron sharpening iron. He's going to be able to rely on all this. I was awesome as a true freshman in my moments. I really didn't have a good second year. I was really good in 2024, but there were still bumps in the road. Now, as I talked about, now teams are coming back, and now in the ACC, and all the opponents you play, you've now faced him, and you faced the best of him. And so now they're going to know his tendencies. How does he's already shown week to week, he can, like we talked about with Arch. Arch's next step is full-time starter. All the pressures that come with it, week-to-week preparation, in-game adjustments, week-to-week adjustments, all that stuff. He's proven that. He's the next step. The next step is, and I said for Arch, at 2025 season is going to be that this past year for Klubnik, the first time through. Second year is rinse, repeat, refine. That's where he is right now for Klubnik. He's rinsed that season, all the goods and the bad. Repeat it against defenses that are ready for you. And if he can refine it, Muench, with that cast that's coming back, with those young guys who are now a year older, with that defense is going to be real, they can make an awesome run. And he has got a chance to be QB1 in 2026.
Yeah. I really hate the rinse, repeat, refine line because it's so damn good. It's a little annoying that you came up with that.
Thank you.
I guess that's a thank you.
So I kind of feel like at the end of the day, even though we were like, you were throwing punches in one direction, I was throwing punches in the other direction, we were fighting for the same thing. Cade Klubnik is legit. Cade Klubnik, whether it's somewhere between Bo Nix and Matthew Stafford, has got a chance to be a damn good starting quarterback in the league. Now it's about him making that next step. And forget about QB1. Like, if you want to make me throw up, to start like QB1, the Nussmeier. September. It's QB1. I had him in June. No, I had him last September. I had him like in 2022. You hadn't seen him play. He was a backup. I don't care about QB1. I don't care until until we're putting together mock drafts. I care about where is he in the process? What can he become? And I think we're both agreeing, while he doesn't have Lenore Sellers level God-given ability, he's got a lot of the things that you look for, including and especially that trait that you can't quite coach, that calm. When everything's a mess around him, that calm to handle those moments. And that's going to bring him a long way. I don't know why I get so worked up when we do this stuff, man. It's fun.
It's good.
I hope everyone enjoyed it.
How you like me now, Clemson fans? How you like me now?
There he is. There he is. That's my Muench. Trying to go to a Clemson game this year. I think we were talking about as a family going to Clemson, Florida State. I got to call my man Kelly down there. He just got the GM job.
I mean, how are we watching the reaction show? I mean, think about it, man.
I'll do it from the Bohemian Hotel in Greenville. How about that?
All right.
Maybe I'll get you down there. All right.
We'll see if it's safe first. See if it's safe.
I don't even know where we're going next week. Hey, at McShay 13.
Who's next?
At McShay 13. I'm on Threads now, like a muh.
Is that good? I don't even know what that is.
Talk to Marissa. We're good. Here we go. Yep, Threads.
Yeah.
I can get my sports stuff. I can focus, but also obviously have a massive, not massive. I have a massive appreciation for all the followers I've developed over the last 20, I don't even know, 15 years, whatever it's been, on X and Instagram and all of that. So you know where to find us. It's you good Muench, YOUGOODMUENCH, and we'll be updating you on what's coming next week. Drew Allar. What am I talking about?
I am fascinated by this one.
Me too.
It's gonna be.
It's
gonna be a ride.
There's a reason why I saved him after these other guys. I wanted to. I don't know where I'm going to land on it, but we'll see.
Yeah.
See you on Monday. Have an awesome weekend. Enjoy your summer. Thanks for being a part of this. And we'll see you on the other side on Monday. Later. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.